Hello and welcome to the Leading Edge Detailing Online Training Academy. Today we're going to be talking about workshop setups and workshop tips and tricks. If you haven't found yourself the right workshop yet, or if you're in the process of setting up your business, you have a great opportunity to do things right and learn from people's mistakes, including my mistakes and experiences. So let's get stuck straight into some nice tips for you. The first thing is to make sure you find the right workshop for you, the right size and the right location. Make sure it is future-proofed. Don't get sucked into the habit of thinking I'm going to get a little workshop and then you find that you have outgrown that workshop very quickly, but unfortunately you have a lease agreement and you've already spent a fortune setting it up and it's very expensive for you to then pack up and go to a bigger shop. If you are confident in your ability to grow your business, which you should be if you're watching these videos, you should definitely think about a workshop that is a little bit overkill for you and it's going to give you space to grow into rather than something that is just right for that particular situation and time in your business career that you might outgrow very quickly, which is a very common issue. And again, think about the location. Close to highways, close to parking, close to public transport, somewhere that is reasonably easy for people to get to. Don't worry so much about competition being near you, because just like how you're worried that they can steal your bookings, they should be worried that you're going to steal their bookings. So I don't care if there's competition next to me, but I do care about how easy or hard it is for people to get there and back. As mentioned with the van/ute tutorial, it's all about impressions, it's all about image, and it's even more important for a workshop. Your workshop needs to have that wow factor. Regardless of how big or small it is, look at my garage that we're in now. It is a garage at home. Now, when somebody walks into my personal garage to drop their car off, even though they might be really wealthy and successful, they get that wow factor. You need to get that wow factor from your shop. And that means really nice signage that is well placed and well thought of, nice flooring, which we'll talk about later, proper lights, and the right tools on show at the right time. You don't have to pack away all your tools and equipment because customers would like to see what you're working with, and those tools can be a little bit of an advertisement for you. Recapping on the image part of things, signage, a tidy and very neat reception area. I remember working with a mechanic group not too long ago, and their reception area was their kitchen, which was never cleaned. And customers, when they go to pay, it was just a disgusting experience. Signage, reception area, flooring, lighting, clean and tidy. Everything has to be clean and tidy. The right tools on show, and make it an experience. Let that be an experience so when your customer goes back home after they've dropped the car off, they say, you should have seen this shop that I just went to. It looks amazing. No wonder they charged me $2,000 to do my car. You need to give that justification for what you're charging, especially if you're premium. Flooring, from my personal experience, you have three options. You have epoxy, you have plastic tiles like Swiss Tracks, and you can just have bare concrete or whatever is on the floor. Obviously, bare concrete or whatever is on the floor is the cheapest, but it looks the worst. Epoxy is expensive, especially in Australia, and you can't take it with you. If you're renting and all of a sudden you decide to leave and go to a bigger shop and you spend $50,000 doing epoxy on the floor, that's dead money. I have always chosen the flooring, the plastic tiles, whether it's genuine Swiss Tracks or Chinese copies, because it looks good, looks professional, it's very durable, it's much cheaper than epoxy, and when you pack up and decide to leave, you could either take it with you or you can sell it. It's not dead money. So that's my choice for you. Your decision ultimately is yours. From my personal experience, that's what I have. Lighting. There are two kinds of lights in a detailing workshop. There is lighting that is functional for detailing, and then there is lighting for looks, to wow your customers, to make the car look amazing. Hex lights are not very practical for working with. They look amazing for a customer pickup area. They look fantastic for your photos. If you have light tunnels, they look great as well, as I can show you now from one of our workshops. However, it's not practical for working under. If you want practical lights, you need two kinds of lights. You need high intensity LED focused lights like Helanova lighting, and you need diffused panel lighting for coatings so you can see high spot. That is in addition to the lighting that you need, such as your handheld, head-mounted, and tripods. So you need at least three kinds of lights in your workshop. Panel lights, high intensity LED lights, and lights for the pickup area or your photo booth. Storage is key. Don't let people see your tubs everywhere. I like to have enclosed cabinets, which looks very professional and tidy. If you can, perfect. If you can't, shelving is okay, but try not to have your storage exposed to your customers. It doesn't look that neat. You should give storage plenty of thought. But in saying that, make sure that you have your equipment, products, and tools next to you. Don't store them in a different room on the other side of the building, because every time you're going to need to go grab some polish or a pad, you don't want to waste 10-15 minutes going and changing products and pads. So everything needs to be nice and close by, especially to the detailing bay, but make sure that it is hidden or at least very well presented. The wash bay. This is going to be something that is driven by your local council and your local area, depending on your country's requirements. A lot of people need water filtration systems or water recycling, so that's something I'm going to let you deal with yourself. You can also make it quite a spectacle. If you have an indoor wash bay, customers love to see the foam. Use photos, make it look like a show area. If you're washing outside, it's a bit of a different story, but again, make sure you have everything nice and neat and close by. Time is money, efficiency is key. If you have your products, tools, and equipment next to you, you're going to waste less time walking and more time detailing. Especially if you have staff, it's going to stop them from doodling around and getting paid for nothing. Workflow is something that I personally went through and a lot of businesses lack. As you become successful, you're going to have more and more cars in your workshop. You need to think about where these cars are parked and where they're going to go next. I remember walking into my workshop many times where I go inside, we have a car right at the front of the workshop that needs to go to the detailing bay. The PPF guy and the mechanics have dumped their cars all over my workshop inside it. Nobody has keys. The car that needs to go because there's a customer picking it up in 10 minutes is right at the back of that workshop, blocked by 17 other cars. That is horrible. That's a waste of time and money. That is not efficiency. You need to make sure that you have easy access from the wash bay to the detailing bay, to the PPF area, to the window tinting area, to the customer pickup zone. And those things cannot impact each other, because if you have to stop detailing so a customer can move his car from where it's getting picked up to the exit of the workshop, that is a very poorly thought of setup. You need to make sure that everything is smooth with as least interruptions as possible. So again, entry needs to be next to the wash bay. The wash bay then needs to be next to the detailing bay. The detailing bay then needs to be next to the PPF, window tint, or pickup area. Things need to flow smoothly without being interrupted. If you have to stop your washing to get a car into the detailing bay, that is a very, very bad setup. If it's that case and you have no choice because that's the way the workshop's going to be, don't rent that workshop. Look for another workshop. I cannot stress that anymore. Many times I've gone to work at 8 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. and my staff were doing nothing until the afternoon, simply because the mechanics needed to do a wheel alignment, and that wheel alignment area bypasses through the wash bay, and we couldn't wash the car because of the mechanics. Very, very, very important. I cannot stress that enough. I'm sorry if I'm harping on. That is going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars of wasted time a year, and headaches, and potential accidents to customers' cars. So don't forget that point. This is a fantastic tip for you. If you're managing staff, you have to manage the tools and equipments and products they use. I had an issue where we were going through so many pads. My staff were burning through pads. Nobody was taking accountability. Every single day we were buying more and more pads. The way I dealt with that issue is I gave each one of my detailers a tub with their name on it, and I said, these are your pads. I gave them all the same amount of pads to start off with, all brand new pads, and guess what happened? We were burning through a lot less pads, because all of a sudden, the person who wasn't caring and they were damaging the pads or not looking after them could be traced, and they'll be accountable for it, and they'll have to explain why they're using 5 times more pads than everybody else around them. So that completely fixed the issue permanently. So a great idea is to give your detailers their own tubs, even better their own machines, their own paint thickness gauges, so that way they're accountable for whatever's missing or broken. Top tip, cannot rate it any higher. Retail section. You have a workshop. That workshop is an asset. You are paying for every meter square of real estate in that space. Make the space work for you to make money. Do not have any dead areas that you're paying money for. Every bit of that workshop needs to be used for something, whether it looks pretty and good for customers, whether it's used for detailing and washing, PPF window tinting, as a waiting area, as a staging area for jobs, or for retail sales. Don't lose money, don't lose sales. If you have a workshop, offer people maintenance kits. They've just come, they've just spent $200,000 on a car, they've spent another $3,000 protecting it with you and detailing it. They're not going to say no to spending $300 more on the right products that you recommend. They're already in that spending mentality. So any workshop that is not currently offering retail products, and we have a great retail section of items for customers to maintain their vehicles with, you are wasting potential sales. Always have a retail section. We did speak about it a little bit with the do's and don'ts. So, do's. Make use of every centimeter of that workshop. Make sure your workflow is very well thought of. Keep an eye out on your staff. Have the right security cameras in place. Take photos of all vehicles when they come in so people don't blame you for damage. Have CCTV cameras in your shop. Don't get hung up with things that aren't going to give you a return. Make sure you have hoists, but put the hoist in the right place. Don't put that hoist somewhere that's going to block access to the rest of your workshop. There's quite a lot of things you can go through, but there is no shortage of ideas online. But remember, you will have to spend the right money setting up your workshop. I know it's hard. I worked my way to where I am now from nothing, and I had to reinvest in my business. But if I could do it again, take a loan, set up that business properly from the first day, because perception is everything when it comes to workshops. Do it once, do it right. Get the right workshop, get the right signage, get the right decor, get the right equipment and tools, and hit the ground running, because you want to blow people's minds when they come to you. You want them to take their phones out and take photos of their own car and post it everywhere online to show their friends and family that they went to an amazing place to get their car detailed and protected. I hope this video has been of value to you. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if you have any comments, and I look forward to diving into the detailing aspect of things with you in only a few short tutorials. Thank you.